without taxable income? Oh, absolutely. Think of most rental properties. They tend to run as a loss for the first couple of years before it swings over. Pretty much any new startup will run at a loss until it starts finding its feet. During COVID, there were a couple of businesses being kept alive on life support. So it absolutely is possible for a business to still be trading without taxable income, right? If we really strip away all the noise, what is SARS asking when they ask for a business plan? They aren't necessarily asking for a big glossy document showing, here, my dear investor, give me money because this is why I'm such a good business. Because if we go back to what a business plan is trying to achieve, it might help you to rethink of this as, what is your plan to become profitable? At what point do you expect to become profitable? Tell me the story of why you are still trading and aren't going to have gone belly up in 6 months' time. And if we think of it from that point of view, I don't think the request, even for a small business, is unreasonable, because that's all information you have. You just literally need to put it down on paper for a bit. This doesn't need to be a glossy 100-page document, with beautiful graphs and, photoshopped in pictures of models and everything else. It literally needs to answer the question of, here's where we are, this is what we're doing to fix it, this is when we expect to be profitable. It's your management accounts, it's your budget, it's your forecasts. What's the story of how you're going to be profitable? And I think from that point of view, if we think of it in that context, then I think it becomes a little bit more achievable again as well. I think we might hear business plan and we start thinking of like those fancy glossy prospectuses that that people put out when they're listing companies. So you don't even have to call it a business plan. If you're worried about the request, then also even just putting together a covering letter going, this is why we're currently not making a profit. Here's what we're doing to fix it. Here's where we expect to be in 2 years' time. Which, to be brutally honest, if you're managing your business properly, you probably already have. You may just need to pull it together into one document. If you don't want to pull it together in one document, then a covering letter telling the story of your business. Tell SARS, what did you actually do this year? Because remember, in order to carry an assessed loss forward, we have to show that we were still trading. So my question to you is, what does trading mean? Trading means that you were still actively trying to run the business. What did you do this year to make the business work? That's what they're looking for. They're looking for something to show that there's actually still a person who's putting in effort. Business plan is just a nice, neat label to put on it in a way that most people who work in finance or business or commerce will understand. So I really do encourage you to, when you get these plans or when you get these requests, to think about, why am I being asked for this information? And you actually probably have more than you think. So does this mean that my business plan can be my financials? I would argue no, not by itself. Because my financials just tell the story of what happened in the current year. What a business plan does is it puts a whole bunch more verbiage and motive behind it other than just reporting on what you did. So your financial statements definitely can be part of the package, but I'd still be putting a covering letter in to go and say, so in this year, in this year, our major client's factory got washed away in the floods. Right. So in order to find new clients, I flew to Uzbekistan. I found another 2 clients in Cape Town, and I did this level of advertising. You can see this in my financials in these and these items. But, if I'm seeing a business where suddenly sales just come to a screeching halt and a whole bunch of expenses after, I don't understand what you were doing to there. Okay. So yes, when we're looking at so to me a business plan is more along the lines of an actual versus budget type analysis with a cover letter explaining the variances and then possibly a 3-year forecast if you have one. Or if you don't do 3-year forecasts, then a 1-year forecast. Basically, because generally, if we really are looking at actively managing our business, we will be doing future projections because we have to go and make sure that this is actually still worth our while. Because, if you really are in a position where your company's making losses, at some point, you've got to be doing something more tangible than just going on a hope and a pray. What is that something? Put that down in writing. Okay. So at its simplest, I would say current year actual versus budget, next year's budget, a management, sort of your management reporting if you have it, and a cover letter basically putting through the key points. Okay. Now, because that at least answers the question. It helps if you understand why they're asking for the information. They want proof that you've considered the going concern. They want proof that you actually are still putting in an effort to make the company viable going forward, and that you haven't actually just gone and said, "That's it, I've shut up shop, and it can now the whole industry can now rot." So that's really what they're looking for. It's the proof of trading. Okay, right. I'm quite sure we've all had our moments where we wanted to ask this question. All right. The very simple answer, it's not. Yes, Section 92 does say that where SARS is convinced that there is tax still payable, they may issue an assessment. But I struggle to see, and the courts have struggled